The 100 CDs a month club, also dubbed Kitwe Biarenswa, will be launched by the trustees of the National Cathedral on August 12, 2021, to give as many Ghanaians as possible the opportunity to be part of the history to build the National Cathedral. The aim of the club is to raise 1 million Ghanaians who will give 100 CDs a month for the construction of the National Cathedral. A special short code 979 has been developed for this purpose. We look forward to Mr. Speaker and all the members of this august house joining the 100 CDs a month club.
This call, according to some Ghanaians, is misplaced. They say the government should rather look at raising revenue to improve the health and education sectors, as well as provide Ghanaians with good roads and other social amenities. For them, the aforementioned issue matters that government should rally financial support for.
No, I'm not going to pay. Why should I pay this? Because with all that we are going through, look at how our businesses are falling, and you want us to pay for cathedral for what? And who is going to be there to be serviced or to be worshipped?
No, I'm not willing, and I don't think I will pay. If should government go around to be asking citizens to pay or contribute to the building of the National Cathedral, I don't think it's right. I think if the government, he has taken the initiative to build it, he has to do it. But for the citizens to contribute to it, I don't think it's right.
Oh no, I will not pay. I will not pay because we have a lot of church buildings in this country. And me too, I have the church that I attend. So I don't see the need to contribute to build another church.
If building the cathedral will help the cause for people to worship their maker, I don't mind helping pay for the cathedral.
No, I don't think it's necessary because there are a lot of auditoriums in Ghana here, which I think we can use some of it to do those church activities. There's no need for us to do any cathedral.
Me, dear, I don't know. I can't. Because there's nothing that I can pay off. Because if you give me something, then you return it. So it's a payback. But you haven't given me anything. Me rather is voting for you than paying you at the same time. So what country are we now?
Let's now get on phone and speak with the National Cathedral Secretary of the Board of Trustees, Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. I'm grateful for your time, sir. You heard from the people, even though the call by the Finance Minister is voluntary, people don't seem enthused about the donation. What do you say to those who say there are more pressing issues that the public should support rather than the Catholic, the cathedral?
I'm very grateful. Thank you very much, my sister. Listening to what I listened to, it's so obvious that I must accept that we have not educated the people enough, and people really don't understand what it is for in the first place. Secondly, let me bring this clarity. It is the trustees that are making an appeal for people to help us support the government to build. It is not the government that is making the appeal.
Okay.
That clarity has to come. It is the trustees that feel, because when the president commissioned the Board of Trustees, he was so plain that we're going to help him raise funds from the beginning to help build the cathedral. The president gave us a vision for a cathedral to say thank you to the Lord for protecting us from all the things that our neighbors have been through, and for saving us from a lot of things, and for preserving Ghana to be where it is. Now, one thing that we've got to understand as a nation is that there is nothing that shall be done that every single person will benefit from. For example, if a road is constructed in maybe a place like Wale Wale, I pay taxes. I might never use the Wale Wale road. That does not mean that because I will not ply the road, I should rise up and fight against the road. There are 70%, so to say, Ghanaians who are Christians. And I believe that it is not every one of them that will embrace such a vision. But at least there are also a very high number of people that are ready for us to do what we are doing. Let's make this point very clear. We are not building a church building. We are building a national cathedral. Why is it that in the United Kingdom, before they became a superpower, before they became the nation that they were, they incorporated a cathedral in their national building agenda? France did the same. America did the same. Spain did the same. All these countries, go to Norway, they did the same. They all brought national cathedral into the infrastructure development and into their nation building. One thing that people don't really understand is that as much as it is just not coming from the pocket of the government, but the churches have taken it upon ourselves to contribute to see to it that the national cathedral is built to the glory of God, is that it is not another church, but it is a place where every other religion can converge and then come together as one body and then represent ourselves well as believers who have come together to make a statement that we are all in one belief. My sister, I want you to understand, and I pray that my listeners also really get to understand, that in this country, we're here when His Excellency President J.J. Rawlings died. Look at where he was laid in state. If it had rained, what would have happened? The biggest place that this nation has is International Conference Center, which takes 1,400 people. In the event that it was not even a national cathedral, the national issues were not going to be done there. We don't have a place that can take 5,000 up to 20,000 people, which of course is the capacity of the National Cathedral. Besides the other auditoriums that could be rented and that could be utilized, besides the other things that will be done there, the music schools and the other things that will be done there. Now, in Notre Dame, when it got burnt, you realize that people contributed 1.3 billion euros within a matter of a month. Why? Because 1.3 million people were visiting Notre Dame every single month. You can imagine the economic impact that the 1.3 million visits made in Notre Dame. Now, we are not just building a national cathedral. We are also building the second largest Bible museum, where the story of Africa and the story of Ghana and the story of the black race will be told in connectivity with Christianity. I can't go into details of that. But that is also another serious tourist establishment that no African country has ever done. The last but not the least, we are building what we call the biblical garden, where every fruit and vegetable in the Bible will be seen, will be grown, will be seen. And then there will be a biblical restaurant whereby you can eat what you see, which of course the things we had read in the Bible will be practically cooked for people to eat physically right here in Ghana. What are we doing? We are trying to build what we call a religious tourism, whereby we are trying to divert some of the traffic to Israel to Ghana. So as much as we are not just building a church, but we are building a national cathedral with a spiritual significance, a physical significance, and an economic significance, we are building something that will change the dynamics of the tourism industry.
Reverend, over the years, there have been questions that have been raised about source of funding. Now that you are asking people to support, what happens if you don't get the people joining the donation drive? How will the trustees sustain funding?
You've got to understand that as much as people say they won't, there are people that are, just when we announced it, there was somebody that gave us 2 million Ghana cedis. People are giving, even though people are fighting it, the people that are giving it are more than the people that are fighting it. So we are very optimistic. And in our strategy, it is not just Ghana here. We have stretched forth our hands to America, to England, and it will amaze you the kind of responses we are having. How people are so excited that Ghana is building such a thing, such a religious tourism thing, and how people are ready to give in millions. At the right time, the figures will come out and you will see that if Ghanaians don't help build, there are also people outside this country that are ready to build. But the bottom line is that this cathedral will be dedicated to the Lord by the 6th of March 2024, like the finance minister said.
I'm grateful for your time. Reverend Kusi Boateng, he's a secretary to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral.
Secretary to the Board of Trustees.
I'm grateful that you joined us this afternoon.
Thank you.